I'm in the mix?
I was having a hard time this week again of not letting the news consume me. Anybody relate to that? Are y'all good and I'm just not? Okay. I mean, and then I was thinking, I have these thoughts in my chair. when I sit in my chair in the morning. And then I thought, and we're going to come to this safe place, and we're going to be like, oh, everything's good here, and it's happy. And it's like, are we pretending and ignoring what's going on? I was thinking, is that really what we want to do? Or maybe, is this just the calm in the storm? Like the eye of the hurricane, like that eye in the storm. Is this what that is? I'm thinking maybe that made sense to me. Like, this is the place where you take a break. And it doesn't mean you ignore what's going on. It means that I realize that frustration and hatred and anger and resistance don't move the needle in the right direction. Like, I know that, but I get sucked into that. So this eye of the storm place is this place. Like just the eye of the storm where we can just take a breath and take a breath. And I've been sharing with you also that my Akashic guides keep telling me, just show up. Like, just show up. Don't not show up. Show up, and don't let what's happening steal your joy. Don't let it steal your joy. I was thinking, in the Nazi death camps in Germany, there was joy. There are stories that there was joy there. How can it be there was joy there? In the slave plantations of the South, there was joy. There was singing, and there was joy in the slave plantations. In Ukraine right now, where there's been war for 6 years, there is joy. There are stories of joy. So what I'm saying to you, let's know that we can be in the eye of the storm and not let it take our joy, even with it swirling all around us, because we know that that's what will make a difference, right? So in this eye of the storm place, I want to share a little bit with you about what maybe a spiritual journey looks like. What maybe a spiritual journey looks like. And just to use this place to get ready for being in the storm, because the storm's still there. We all know in the eye, we know the storm is still there. We know it, but we're here now. So what can we do to prepare ourselves when it comes back around? Well, I've been reading often from this book called The Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest, and I want to start with this. Like I said, I want to talk about the spiritual journey, what it means to be spiritually awake. And the first line in here is, in an unawakened state, your power is fully externalized. Your faith is placed disproportionately on the systems, regulations, and structures that never had any intention of moving you past where you are now into where you could be. This is what it means to be in the unawakened state. To disproportionately put our energy toward how we are seen in the world. What we do. What am I going to do? What education am I going to have? How am I going to make money? Money, power, and influence. That's the world. We want to hit the ground running. We want to make it happen. We know that if we just work hard and put our nose down and get the right education and get the right guidance and have the right chance, man, we're going to make it, and we're going to make it big. That's what we think in the world. That's the notion that we're after. Many of us have done it. I have. Going to school and making it happen and doing the next best thing, right? Money, power, and influence. And if I do that, I hit the ground running, I give it 110%, I live the American dream, right? And what sometimes happens, we get freaking exhausted. We get exhausted because it doesn't work out exactly the way we want it to work out, does it? We do everything right. How many times have I heard as a minister? I heard as a minister one time when I was attending the deathbed of someone who said to me, in all seriousness, she said to me, Paula, I've done everything right and I'm still dying. Oh, it was a thing that hit me in my heart. In my heart, do I think if I do everything right in the world that somehow I won't die, or that this is my punishment? And when we focus in the world, that's what happens. We get frustrated. And then we have, even as she did, we have this internal sense of that it's not enough. Even if we're successful by the world standards, it's never enough. Even if we're successful, and especially if we're not successful, then we don't understand what went wrong. We don't understand why. We don't understand, and we have that kind of empty feeling inside. That's that kind of the first, how we are, what Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements called the domestication of the planet. You know, we're all led to believe that that's what success is about, and it doesn't always work out that way. Here's the second part from the pivot year. It is often when you reach complete exhaustion and exasperation with this view of the world that you begin to go inward and discover something solvent, that the power is within you. Oh, it's the greatest moment. It's the greatest moment in spiritual evolution to realize that you have control over your mind. Like, you can decide anything you want to think. You can decide that. You have the power to do that. And it is the biggest aha moment, I think, in spiritual evolution. To realize, oh my gosh, I get to decide. I get to decide. I have the power to direct my consciousness in whatever direction I want it to go. I have the power to direct my mind, because my mind, folks, my mind is a terrible leader. It's a terrible leader. The mind will lead you round and round. It will lead you down rabbit holes. It will be the one that tells you stories that are just stories with no grounding in truth at all. That's what the mind will do if you let it. But when you realize that the power you have is to use your mind and put it in with intention and attention in whatever direction you want. Whoa! It's big. It's big. Don't you know that? You know that. Have you gone through that step, at least partly? Yes. Through your mind, you create everything, and then you start learning how to use the laws of the universe to your favor. You start writing a gratitude journal, for instance. Doesn't that change your life? Changes your life. You start using affirmations. You start by following spiritual laws that you learn about. The spiritual law of attraction, the spiritual law of abundance, the 7 spiritual laws of success by Deepak Chopra. You start understanding these laws and you think, I am in charge of my entire life. It's me. I can do it. This is how it works. And it's the most exciting time in spiritual evolution. Until it's not. Until it's not. As you begin to wake up to that power, Brianna Weiss says, we often overuse it. You assume that you are a god unto yourself, the tiny particles around which the entire universe will bend and break and reform. That's what happens. Because you know what happens? When I use all those laws, when I have control of my mind, and then my expectation is shattered by something, whatever that thing is for you, and you're like, how can that be? Just like that person laying in that bed saying, how can it be that I'm using all these spiritual laws, that I have control of my mind, and then this? What in the world? What in the world is happening here? How can that be? How can that be? We assume, in this case, that we are the center of the universe, like she says with God, but maybe not. Let me read you this. Here's what happens. You begin to shake this illusion, because it is an illusion. It's an illusion of me, and only me. I have control of me. We shake that illusion when you realize that the things you insisted on creating did not turn out perfectly as you once imagined. And you begin to take other people into account, their timing and their needs. Here's the thing. You start to see that you cannot see and do and solve everything. You cannot see and do, and so I cannot see and do and solve everything. And so the true journey of your life, which is the dance between what is yours to handle and what is yours to release. What you must reach for, what you must actively seek, and what you must allow to come. When it is time to speak and when it is time to listen. when it is time to teach, and when it is time to learn. When it is time to exert your will, and when it is time to surrender to a path far greater than anything that you could conceive of prior. That. The final step, maybe not the final step, because who knows for sure. The third awareness, which is, I have control of nothing, and I surrender to what is. Right? I surrender to what is. The thing that takes the most courage of all, to not give up. It's not surrender as in to give up, but to realize that what I do in the world, and it's not to discard what I do in the world. What you do in the world is essential to the world. Following the spiritual laws of the universe is useful and purposeful and makes a difference in life. But to realize that those two things are overlaid with this divine intelligence of the universe that we know next to nothing about. That's what I believe today. I don't know what it is. There's this tapestry and this cosmic power and pulse in the universe that I am just a dot in. A tiny thread. A tiny thread. That's what it is. And so could I and will I surrender to that, and to realize no matter what my work is in the world, and no matter how many spiritual laws that I incorporate, and how many gratitude journals I make, and how much I commit to the law of whatever, that there is still something greater than me at work here. Plus there is the person next to me, and the person in front of me, and the persons who have come from behind me. All of that. I do not exist independently, as I might think that I can just have this life. Wow. To surrender to that. I wrote down, the fabric of creation is more vast than I can comprehend. That's what it is. And to awaken all that, to be in wonder of all that, to be in it, to surrender to it. That is another step in the evolution of our spiritual journey, I believe. I believe. And here's the other thing I wrote down to remind myself. The minute you think you know for sure, you're done. So I'm reminding myself of that. The minute I think I know for sure that this is the way it is, I'm done. My spiritual growth is finished. This is just an idea today. This is an idea that might be curious for you. But I don't know. I mean, the minute you're certain, maybe I'm certain only about that, is the minute that I'm certain about anything, my evolution is stunted. It's finished. It's complete. So what does it all mean now? You know, I always think, well, so what is this calling me for now? This idea of, yes, I'm in the world, and yes, I lose spiritual law, and yes, when I realize that I have control of nothing and my greatest spiritual work is to surrender to that. How do I do that? What is that really about? And it reminded me of the book, The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope, when he talks about Dharma. Dharma is, well, let me just read you a little passage from this book. Because this news is not something to be afraid of. This idea is not something to judge yourself for. Here's what he says. Each of us must have one domain, one small place on the globe where we can fully meet life, where we can meet it with every gift that we have. One small place where we can know the nature of life and ultimately know ourselves. This domain, this one place that is uniquely ours, is called our work in the world. That one place. Our work in the world is for each of us the axis mundi, the immovable spot, the one place where we can really have the opportunity to wake up, where we can feel connected to something bigger than ourselves. He says, after writing this book based on the Bhagavad Gita and the stories that Arjuna and Krishna, or Krishna tells Arjuna, and the lives of great men and women, and the lives of men and women great as well in his personal life. He says this, I see now that I have been confused about Dharma, because I had both too high an opinion of it and too low an opinion of it all at one time. I thought that life should always be high art. I thought indeed that I should always be jumping out of bed in the morning, ripping open the curtains to meet the day. But when we study the lives of fulfilled exemplars of Dharma, of those who are living their purpose and what they're called here to do, when we read those stories, we discover, alas, it is just not like that, even for the most accomplished among us. I have come to see that Dharma is more like a craft than high art. Those of us struggling to live our Dharma wake up every morning like everybody else to the sound of the alarm. We roll over, we take a deep breath, another day. We know what we have to do. We get up, we make the coffee. We work away at the work that we are put here and set here to do. That's our Dharma, the work that we were put here and set here to do. Like plodding, persistent craftsmen. Don't you feel that way sometimes? No one's writing a front page story about me. No one's giving me the greatest interview. No one's inviting me to guest on Oprah, or, like, I'm not getting that, but it's the plodding every day, being called to do what I'm here to do, putting one foot in front of the other. We are a part of a team of craftsmen building a cathedral. We are a part of a craftsman team building a cathedral. We might not live to see the whole structure complete. Think about that in the context of what's happening right now in the world. We may not be here to see the whole structure complete. We may not be here to see everything turned around the way we'd love to see it. But in fact, our small part of the magnificent whole may not even be visible to the eye once the thing is finished. No matter. It is not really about us anyway. It's about the cathedral. You see, it's about the cathedral. And so how do we live this spiritually evolved life is to live what we are called here to live. To do what the Akashic Masters have been telling me to do is to show up. To show up and do your thing. Do it whatever it is. It's essential. It's essential. Here's what happens. Or here's a way to describe it. When we lavish our love on the world, it doesn't matter whether we succeed or fail. It is inherently fulfilling. It is aligning ourselves exclusively with what we are to begin with. Yeah. To live your thing, to do the dance, this is like the dance with Dharma. To do the dance, to speak yes and to be quiet. To show up and to be still. To all those things, to listen to your internal wisdom and to not be distracted by what's happening in the world. We are doing, and you are doing, amazing things in your life if you simply and powerfully love. That's it. The most powerful teaching that Jesus ever taught, and many masters as well, love one another. That's it. There's not complexity. You don't even have to read the books. Just that. That's it. To dance. To realize. I love to believe that I'm the center of my universe. That I have control over everything. It's just not true. And I am much more at ease and much more able to be loving and kind when I take a step back. Not that I don't stand up and say what I believe in, but that I do it from a place of love. The dance of Dharma, the dance of love. Yeah? So let's take a moment and go into meditation this morning with these words and these ideas. However you believe them to be, take them into your heart for a few minutes. Take a deep breath in and another one out. And to remember these words from Stephen Cope, who says that each of us just has to have one domain, one small place on the globe where we bring our full selves, where we meet it with the gift that we are. One small place that is uniquely ours. Our work in the world. Breathing in and breathing out. for a few minutes together this morning. Stephen Cope says, deep in midlife I had begun to feel the awful burden of wanting to be special, wanting to be better, wanting to experience every possible adventure in this life, wanting to be an expanded self. Oh, for God's sake, it's just too damn much work to be an expanded self. Couldn't I just be my ordinary self? Merton says, we cannot master everything, taste everything, understand everything, drain every experience to its last dregs. But if we have the courage to let almost everything else go, we will probably be able to retain the one thing necessary for us, whatever that might be. We are not called to everything. We are just called to what we're called to. So do your daily duty and let the rest go. Poke away systematically at your little calling. Tend the garden a little bit every day. You do not have to exhaust yourself with great acts. Show up for your duty, for your Dharma. Then let go and know that it is enough. Amen. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. And so it is. Amen.